Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Thai Talk with Dan. Now, as most of you know, I receive stories from subscribers that let me know about their relationships with a woman here in Thailand, sometimes Cambodia, the Philippines, and even Vietnam. And it's very, very crazy, the stories that we get to hear, because there are normally loads of red flags, but due to the man being infatuated with the Asian girl or being in love, they choose to make excuses up for those red flags or simply ignore them. Which brings me on to our next subscriber. Oh, guys, we're heading over to Cambodia to find out what this guy has got himself into with a 20-year-old bar girl that's on the monthly payroll. Let's get in to today's Cambodia story. Hi Dan, hope you and William are doing well. Appreciate your channel. The warnings are clearly needed, but I have to say, listening to a lot of them can make you jaded. But perhaps your point is that you should have a healthy dose of cynicism when playing this game. Got a story to share from Cambodia, possibly before a train wreck. Look forward to hearing where and what sound effects are added. So, I'm in my late 30s, have lived outside the UK, in Asia, Southeast Asia over 10 years, and have visited Thailand quite a few times. So I don't consider myself a noob. I wouldn't consider myself attractive, but I'm in shape and try to be nice to all people that I meet. I've been living in Cambodia for 4 years. For some of that time, I had a Western girlfriend. And for the rest of the time, I've been happy to pay for play. Generally, keeping to the rule of not seeing a girl more than 3 or 4 times. I think the bar girls in Cambodia were, a couple of years ago, less ruthless than their Thai counterparts, but it seems like they've caught up now with the love bombing and asking for money for sickness, etc. This story starts on a normal night out, with a friend who met a girl and took her home. I left the bar we were in, planning to go home, only to hear 2 guys speaking a language that I knew from a different country. So I went to have a few drinks with them, as it's always useful to practice your language skills when battered at 1 AM. For reference, the P2P scene in Phnom Penh is just a small section of 3 streets, with a couple of other areas scattered around. One street I usually avoid due to the higher concentration of ladyboys more likely to be robbed on the street and more likely to be scammed in the bars. So after a chat with these 2 guys, I stumbled out onto the street and was drunk enough that I didn't notice that I'd found myself on the street I usually avoid. My usual strategy is to wander around until someone interesting shouts at me to come for a drink, which is what drew me to this bar. And here my story really begins. For whatever reason, I can remember the first time my eyes met all the women I've loved and had relationships with over the years. And this is true of the girl I met in this bar. She is 20, totally stunning, a little bit shy, but most importantly, did not seem like a jaded pro. I'm not tight with money in the bars, and so was buying drinks for her and a few others in there. So, I was told she was new to the bar and had only been with 1 Japanese customer before, and that I should be gentle if I took her. Never heard this before in my life. From what I gathered, mainly after that night, she was at the bar to support her family and a baby, and had come from a reasonably good background until her father had an accident. Anyway, I did not take her that night, owing to how drunk I was, but we exchanged numbers. I went back a couple of days later and everything was good. If I'm honest, it's not the best aerobics I've ever had, which is part of the reason why I think there might be something between us, at least from my side. She started sending regular messages. I guess it might be called love bombing, but I struggled to keep up with the new lingo. I knew I would be leaving Cambodia in a month for 4 to 6 months, and I liked her, so I leaned in to this a little bit. Usually, I just ignore these, but I did start to engage and talk to her about life, love, etc. This was probably not the best thing to do. I had no intention of dating a bar girl. Things changed a bit in my head one Monday night, and I had been and bar find her the night before, and we drank quite a lot. The next night she texted me from the bar asking if I could pay the bar fine so that she could come and sleep. No boom boom. I agreed. Did not ask for anything that night and let her sleep. But the aerobics were free the next day. I explained to her then that I would be leaving soon for some time, but we started spending more time together during the day, going for food, etc. At this point, after 2 weeks, she started saying, "I love you." One thing that really pulled on my white knight strings, which you've probably noticed is quite often how I play the game, that or hard bar steward, is that she said she is happy to be with me because I don't beat her or force her to have jiggy jiggy. Now here's where the red flags begin. I left a couple of weeks later and offered to send her $100 per month to help with her baby. She was happy, and we've been in contact almost every day since I left. After a couple of months, she said she wanted to leave the bar as she didn't like working there. This was consistent with things she had said to me, so I offered her $600 per month, and I've now paid this twice. And she left the bar and went back to live with her family. I am 95% sure this is true because I video call her, but I'm not going to lie, I've got some small doubts. I've only known her 5 months, and I'm too old to trust someone completely after such a short time. From what she told me, this goes towards the rent at her family's home, paying off debt, and obviously to look after her baby. Now, we've talked a lot over the last few months. As far as I can tell, she wants a future. She wants to be a beautician, and I'm happy to pay for this. I've explained to her that I won't waste money on designer bags, but have no problem with paying for education, and she seems okay with this. She has started looking for vocational schools and talking to family about it. I like that she makes the effort to play around with the Google Translate to make sure things make sense. As we all know, it can be really annoying to have detailed conversations. Now, I have caught her in a couple of small lies, mainly around going out and why she hasn't responded. From what I can tell, she doesn't like lying to me and will answer truthfully when directly asked. But it might take a few lines of questioning and a few hours before she comes out with it. This extends to not telling me things she thinks I might not agree with, like going out. Really, I don't care about this and would encourage it, as I also want space to go out with friends without her. I also give her the benefit of the doubt for some things because of the problems using Google Translate and or not understanding that some things are important to me. She does seem to learn from what upsets me and changes her behaviour, whether this is truthful changes or just saying what I want to hear. I don't know. Maybe it might be down to the $600 per month that you're giving her. Don't want to rock the boat with that one. Sorry guys, I'm just laughing as I read the next slide. Every couple of weeks she sends pictures of gold jewellery that she would like. It's only a few $100s, but I don't know if this is a red flag or not. I've never sent her money for this, as far as I know. The biggest red flag which led me to this email was a request for a 4-figure amount in dollars to pay off her family debt. I declined, and she did not go crazy or try and guilt trip me. I like to think she's comfortable enough to say what's in her head. And I know, or she led me to believe, that she was upset that day because her mother was stressed about the family debt. I'm not opposed to paying this off, as I know I will essentially be paying for it anyway, because I've said she does not have to work when she is at school. But it does seem like a pretty crazy request after she's only known me for 5 months. Now, she's asked me a couple of times how much money I have, how much I earn, etc. But I don't answer, and she does not press. I was raised by my father never to ask people how much they earn, so maybe this is a cultural thing rather than a red flag. It makes me wary. But it's possible she's just trying to work out if I can support her. Now guys, I just quickly want to interject before continuing with this story. I'm sure by now within this story you can clearly see what happens when guys are in love or they're really infatuated with a woman or a girl or whatever the case may be. They will make 1,000,001 excuses to not see what's right in front of their face, which is the same as this guy right now. Right, let's continue. Okay, Dan, some other thoughts. Don't think she's playing the long game because she hasn't left it very long. And not convinced she's smart, experienced enough to do it. But I could be wrong. Surely she would wait until she had me in bed and loved up before asking for a decent amount. Are these girls too messed up from social media that they expect a man to take care of everything and still spoil them with gifts? I'm from a similar background to you, Dan, and don't like the idea of supporting a freeloader long term. I consider this different from paying for an education so that I can start a business she can work in and contribute. She is the oldest child in her family, and as many listeners will know, there is strong cultural pressure for her to take care of her parents and family. For example, her mother thinks she is too old to study and should save up to open a grocery shop. Will this get in the way of our relationship? Will she always do what they say over what I think? Or is this the only reason she's with me? I'm fully aware that she and her family might have decided they're onto a winner and done their best to sink their claws in. My work at home is finished and I'm returning in a couple of weeks. I've clearly developed some feelings for her and find myself caring and worrying about her. Honestly, I think it's about 60-40 as to whether or not it works out.
Good luck.
And about 80-20 that I'm not being played. I consider myself to be a good judge of character and hard to scam. Having successfully navigated Asia for years both professionally and with play. Have I found a nice girl who has never been shown proper love and wants to build a future? Or am I just simply being played? Are the cultural and age differences too much? We shall see. I feel like the child putting my hand into the flame. There's only one way to find out. Now I'm happy to be roasted in the comments and to hear your thoughts, Dan. Writing this has been quite therapeutic, and to be honest, I'm more confident than when I started. I know I've given her the benefit of the doubt a few times, but I think this is fair at the moment and will easily be able to see if she's cheating or whatever when I'm with her. We'll update you in a few months. Cheers. Anonymous. Guys, honestly, sometimes I can be left speechless when I read some of these stories out loud to you guys on the channel. But I do sympathise with a lot of these guys because I understand that a younger, beautiful woman that's showing interest and showing that she wants a future with you can be quite overwhelming for a lot of men. And especially it depends on what your life was like previously or back home. You're not getting much attention. You've not had particularly good relationships. You've had a messy divorce, etc. A young, cute girl turning your head, telling you everything that you want to hear, showing love, showing affection, etc. It can stop you from seeing the red flags, or you've seen them, you've just made excuses for them. But I'll tell you right now how I see it, and it's quite clear. And I think most people, I got an itchy nose today. I think most people that have listened to this story will agree. She's a 20-year-old bar girl. Within that, 5 months, she's already been able to obtain a monthly salary from $100 per month to $600 per month, which is a hell of a lot of money for a Cambodian 20-year-old that's got a kid. Now remember, over here in Southeast Asia, you are less appealing to the opposite sex if you've had children with another man and that relationship's failed. It's very difficult to find a guy who's got a good education, got a good business or a good job, who's willing to take one of these girls on and her kid. So that's why a lot of these women over here in Southeast Asia will turn to foreign men, because they tend to have money and they're more willing to support a single mum. Now, you also stated that she was sending you photos, etc. of gold jewellery, trying to milk you, trying to get some jewellery off you that she can keep hold just in case everything goes tits up. And then she can sell it, or a mum can sell it, or whatever the case may be. She also tried to get a large lump sum of money out of you, and that didn't work. Now, what you've got to understand is that most of these women are pretty much the same. They won't make a big song and dance about it if you decide to say no, especially when they're already on the monthly payroll. You're already given her $600 per month, which is a hell of a lot of money to this girl. It's a hell of a lot, yeah? She's not likely to get that again off another guy anytime soon. You've managed to put her back home, take her out of the bar, give her $600 per month to support herself and a kid, give her aspirations for the future to maybe have a beauty shop, go to school, get an education, and be able to take care of her family in the best way that she can. So for me at the moment, more than likely, she is just looking at you as support until she gets to the next step in life, and that's when things will probably break down. But you could be lucky, it could continue, but right now it just sounds like this woman is all in it for the money and what you can do to financially support her and help her family now and even more so in the future. But as I always say, I'm just one man giving my opinion and it's not the Dan show, it's our show, and I like to get subscribers that have sent in stories to not only listen to me, but to listen to everybody else within the comments, because there's a lot of guys that watch this channel that have been around the mill, they've got a lot of experience. You've got some guys that have been in successful relationships that are doing well with a Thai partner or a woman from Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, etc. And they can advise you accordingly. So guys, if you want to help this guy out, be honest, be straight, and just put your comments down below. Now guys, if you feel like you can be honest and straight and speak about your current situation, or want to share your story to act as a warning to anybody else about your relationship over here in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, Philippines, Vietnam, then please get your email sent in to thaitalkwithdan@gmail.com and we can share it on the channel Right guys, it's Thursday today, it's almost the weekend. Hope everybody's doing well and having a good new year so far. I'm back to 100% now. I was extremely ill before for a couple of weeks. It was horrendous. I've not been that ill since I've been here in Thailand. But I'm feeling a lot better now. William's doing really well. He's in a good routine now with school, etc. So right now, life is okay. Can't complain and just hope it gets better this year. Right guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy and ciao for now. Bye bye.